Do you have one?
I'm glad you asked.
Do you know how many messages I got during the break saying, what was the trivia question? I must have missed it.
You want me to round it out?
Yeah.
Zero.
You know what? I did get a message about a photograph of a potato. Did you see that?
No.
Because you were talking about YouTube.
I like potatoes.
You were talking about people making money
Yeah,
on
lots
YouTube.
of money. How come okay, there I am.
An Irish photographer makes $1 million with one shot.
Oh, geez.
Kevin Abish is famous for his photos. His latest photo isn't a celebrity picture, but an organic spud. The print of the potato was sold to a European businessman for $1 million. The buyer says he liked the simple portrait named Potato number 345.
So he's taken 344 pictures before that.
Yeah, but this one sold for $1 million, making it the 15th most expensive photo ever sold.
I hope it at least looked like Jesus.
It kind of looks like a planet, and maybe he thought it was planet.
Like Pluto?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see
Planet
it.
Potato?
You see it?
Yeah, it looks like satellite-y.
Yeah,
or
it's
comedy or
right.
something.
It's a nice picture.
$1 million worth?
Depending on how many millions I had.
Even if I had $1 billion, I don't think I'd pay $1 million for a picture.
Yeah,
of a
me
potato.
either. But $1 billion isn't the most millions you can have.
I'd wait until it came out on the internet and just make a copy of it.
You say $1 billion. I think if I had more than that, like
$1 million,
100 million,
1,000,
then I would
1,000 millions. That's $1 billion.
10,000 millions.
What is?
That's how many I would need to have to buy $1 million potato picture.
Yeah. Trivia question. This is a good one. You will not.
I doubt it.
You will not get this
I
one.
seriously doubt it.
Which president personally hanged 2 murderers while he was
Like
the sheriff of Erie County, New York?
In the Oval Office?
Yeah, it was in the Oval Office.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Well,
he personally pulled the thing, hanged the people.
Okay. So
because he was also the public executioner for Erie County, New York.
Which is, it's actually the most efficient when the cop is the cop, the enforcer, and the executioner.
You wouldn't think
it's even better if they get to be the jury.
There's no conflict of interest there at all.
No, and that's, it's efficient. You just like, here, we just handle it.
It is
You don't
efficient.
have to, people don't get
paid
hung up
extra
in
for
the
it.
justice system.
Hung up.
It's great.
You said hung up.
Oh, but that was good. Okay, so let's give our listeners some time to think about that. Do you have any other fun facts for us?
I have this day in history. Sad note, this day in history, January 28th, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger lifts off from Cape Canaveral, Florida, with the school teacher, first ordinary U.S. civilian to travel into space. Fortunately, she wasn't in space before she died. The Challenger blew up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
And that was sad. Do you remember where you were? You were pretty young. Yeah, I mean,
when did this happen?
86.
Yeah,
I remember. I was in college.
86?
January 28th. And
Oh, okay.
86. Oh, I see what you're saying. You were born September 11.
Yeah, so
In 86?
January 28th, I was somewhere. Yeah, I was. Depending on whose standards you're going by, I was a life.
Oh, jeez. All right, so, and I remember this because it was delayed like 6 days or something because of the weather and problems, and it was one of the things they thought failed were these shields
They had
that weren't exactly.
Yeah. So the problem is, though, there was too much money invested at that time already, right, to cancel. Way too
They
much money
probably
spent.
were under a lot of pressure because of the teacher in there
Yeah,
to launch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Government.
So our
Don't get me wrong. I loved space shuttles. The
Me too.
technology was really cool.
well, NASA's pretty much destroyed now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
they're
not
doing,
what
they're
it was.
doing remote stuff.
Recent administrations have kind of like, right. We do have one, at least one. Well, only one worth mentioning. Guess on the question
Okay.
of which president personally hung two
Murderers.
alleged murderers.
No, they were convicted.
Okay.
Yeah, no, convicted.
Abraham Lincoln.
That would be a good guess. No,
Okay,
that's it.
that wasn't my guess. That was
Oh, okay.
first time listener.
Well, if they would listen to this part, while they were sheriff of Erie County, New York, and I don't think Abe Lincoln was ever a sheriff in New York.
I don't know.
Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was the sheriff.
that's obvious.
And
That's obvious.
dropped the hammer, so to speak, on a couple of bad boys. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that about Grover Cleveland. I never knew he was sheriff, and I didn't know that he was.
I didn't know he was president.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, he hung 468,000 people while he was president. Little known fact.
Well, he didn't do it, but
somebody did.
Jeez. Okay. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Flint? Because that's
we can, or we can just say real briefly.
That's trendy
that
now.
The 50 caliber gun was found with the Mexican.
Was that with El Chapo, or was this a different one?
Yeah, the El Chapo guy.
Well, that's one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was found with him, and it was apparently traced back to Fast and Furious. So the feds actually,
of course,
sold that to somebody unlawfully.
What we really need to do, though, is keep the guns out of hands of bad people. You know? I mean, even if people in Iowa like their guns, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so
do you want to talk about Flint? Because
real quick,
I mean, are we doing? Is this TMZ? Are we doing pop culture now, or what?
I wouldn't say it's pop culture. It's
politics.
It is politics.
It's absolute politics.
Everything is
Come
politics.
on.
Everything is politics.
All right, go ahead.
This is a national emergency almost.
No, it isn't.
It's a state emergency.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it has been declared that. Sure.
The feds are
involved.
damn
snow in Maryland was declared that too, because they don't know how to live with snow. They ban people from driving and moving.
30 people
when they
died.
Get some snow.
Nobody died in Flint. I mean, not from this. People die in Flint all the time. Anyways,
you don't, and you don't hear national media outrage about all of the children that are murdered in Flint all the time, right?
I don't know that there are lots of children murdered in Flint.
More in Flint than other cities.
Maybe, but
yeah,
what's
absolutely.
your definition of a child?
Absolutely. Not an adult.
Okay, is that 18 and under?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Because, a lot of statistics are calling 25-year-olds children. And
either way, if
generally
if
go
there
up
were
to like
a lot
12
of
before
if there
they
were
turn
a
13.
lot of 26-year-olds being murdered, which I think there probably are.
That's probably
there's more 26-year-olds being. I don't think so. Because a lot of gangs are made up of younger people.
Yeah, I don't know that they're getting a lot of gang murders in Flint.
More than a lot of cities, which is what I said. There's more gang murders in Flint than people dying from lead water.
Yeah.
That's true. Absolute fact.
Yeah. These people could die in years from now.
They will.
It's like the police officer.
They will.
It was like the police officer that shot and lived for another 40 years and then died, and then they called it a police shooting.
Right.
Because he died from the gunshot wound 40 years later.
There's cities all over the nation that have higher lead concentration in their water than a lot of places in Flint.
Absolutely true. That's why FEMA originally turned him down, and I don't know if they okayed it or not, because they didn't want to set a precedent on this, because there's thousands of cities in the same group. Anyways, people know about Flint water. It was a big screw up. Government kind of dropped the ball there, and
local government really messed up.
They did.
That is true.
And but this address is a socialist mentality, because Walmart, Pepsi-Cola, Nestle, Coca-Cola. What did I say? Walmart, Coca-Cola, Nestle, and Pepsi.
Well, I think you can throw Anheuser-Busch in there and some other brewing
have
companies.
Donated, or trying to donate, millions of dollars worth of water to the Flint area. So they're not just charitable organizations that have their own ideologies. They're for-profit companies.
Right.
And the people are saying by providing water to public schools for the remainder of the year, the four companies have effectively supplanted the local water authorities and made themselves an indispensable public utility, but without any amount of public regulation or local accountability. Many people in Flint may want government to work better, but with sufficient donations, they may find that the private sector has supplanted many of government's functions altogether.
That's good. I don't know why you're reading it all ominously.
Oh, well,
I think that's a good thing.
I know, but they're saying it's a bad thing. And
Right.
This is the Atlanta's David Graham, who's saying,
yeah.
they're saying, that's bad. We can't have
Yeah.
private
Well, what
industry
you
going
need-
in there
look.
and helping people. But then you hear the damn people say, well, if the government doesn't help them, we want to rely on private donations and private charities. So when private charities come in there,
Yeah.
oh, we can't have that. We got to have government because we got to have them sucking the teat of the government so that they will obey us and vote for us and put us in power, and we want to control your lives. And screw these for-profit companies. How dare they try to help?
Yeah, I mean, look, when the government screws up bad enough that a business has to donate things, the government really should regulate that. I mean, you do want the government to get involved, the ones that screwed up so badly to put you in the place that you have to rely on Pepsi giving you water.
And I'm sure Pepsi and Nestle's and Coca-Cola and Walmart are regulated through the nose on their
yeah,
products.
absolutely. I'm sure of it.
So to say they're not regulated and there's no accountability is ridiculous.
Right. Well, people weren't even trusting the water that the government was.
Oh no, I was
shipping in.
involved in that. I mean, that's part of where I work and make my money, and it's exactly right. They were going to ship water in water trucks from Lansing to Flint, and they nixed it because they said the people don't even trust the bottled water they're getting from stores,
Right.
Because they think the government is somehow poisoning it,
Right.
And then they're given filters, right, to filter out the lead.
Yep.
People are saying, no, there's lead in those filters. It's actually going to add more lead to it. We don't want your filters.
Yeah.
So there's a PR problem there.
Well, of course there's a PR problem, and believe me, I'm one of the first people to say that you shouldn't just blindly trust government. Right. But to think that they intentionally poisoned the people in Flint and then under the cloak of trying to help
mitigate
them
it,
are poisoning them even more.
Right.
Really?
Right. And people, believe Elvis is still alive and
he is.
And Hitler's living in Argentina, but that's the mindset they're trying to do. Not only that, but I have to say, not derogatorily, but just factually, the demographics
it's
in
like saying,
Flint.
No offense.
No
right
offense,
before you
but
say something offensive.
Right. But I'm going to say it, that a lot of the people in Flint, education level isn't at the PhD or scientific level.
I think more importantly
they
than
have mistrust
scientific
there,
level, what does that mean?
That's a good level. That's the best level. That's like the highest level.
I think every level is scientific.
No, only if it's scientific levels.
Everything's science.
Everything is science.
Everything
is physics. Not everything is science. We've had this discussion.
Bigger than the education level. I think a symptom of this is the education level. These people, it's been liberal run for so long, and the people there have become so dependent on government that when the government screws up, they don't know what to do. Right? Because
where do they go?
Need the government.
Yeah.
Even when other private organizations come in to help, they still feel dependent on the government, but they don't trust the government, and so it's a huge conflict.
Let me clarify. They were not questioning Walmart, Coca-Cola, Nestle, and Pepsi's donations.
No. I know that.
It was the ones the government were going door to door getting out.
Right.
They would probably trust
but
private industry much
other
more
liberals, right, probably outside of Flint, who don't need
the
water,
super intellectuals.
Right? The ones sitting
that live
in a gated community with nice water.
Some social
are saying that we can't have these private companies. They're so big. Look, I mean, all they care about is shareholder dividends and quarterly profits.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's that. The point they're making is that we can't have private industry supplying these people with water because that's the government's job. And if private industry does it, then right. We don't need government.
Yeah.
And we can't have government.
It's like you can't have roads without the government.
Yeah, I was going to say that's my brother and I clearing the dirt road there so we could use it. Tree fell for 3 years.
Yeah.
So that was my point there, I guess.
It was a good point.
Do you want to do real quick? Clinton was asked recently in Iowa
by be quick, but yes, I do.
By a someone in the audience, a young man, said that basically, Iowa loves their guns. What's your point of view on that? And we're going to stop this.
You don't know.
With it depends what Steve does. every time she tells a lie, we're gonna stop it.
No, we don't have enough time left.
I was just gonna say, don't even play it.
It's only a 10-second clip, and we don't have enough time left
because it's all lies.